Good afternoon, my name is Boone Sananacone, and I'll be presenting to you the Organizational Design Audit. I'm a graduate student at LeTourneau University. We'll begin with the abstract here. The overall purpose is to provide results, which stems from an organizational assessment that was taken over the course of the semester, focusing on three main functions of the organization or the unit of analysis. First one of goals, second of strategy, and the third being the overall business environment. The intent of the assessment is to learn how these internal or opposing forces actually hinder the operation, in addition to identifying gaps in how to optimize the organization through potential alignment. This is the background of the overall project. As I stated earlier, the intent is to generate viable solutions which would be taken from the management level to implement to address organizational shortfalls. The overall project duration for this was a period of 10 weeks in which multiple assessments were conducted at various levels. Assessments such as organizational readiness, organizational design, SWOT analyses, competing values, initiatives, and framework, in addition to cultural impact studies. The role of myself is a facilitator in the Lean Enterprise management system, and the recommendations will fall within three functions, following or tailoring to the gaps identified in the assessment. The assessment or the audit process, as stated earlier, comprised of three functions and phases. The first phase was to conduct a strategic assessment. Essentially, this required two things: an understanding of what the business is and what the business is attempting to achieve in its current state, but also in the 25-year time frame. Secondly, the organizational assessment is to determine how the organization aligns with the growth model in the next 25 years and the current model. And the third assessment was the cultural assessment, how well the organization currently performs, what the perception of leadership is, and the overall soft skill approach to organizational behavior, in addition to determining whether they are change ready with current initiatives. The functions that were previously stated looked over a multitude of assessment categories, and these were some to share. The business environment was identified as a international environment in which competitors such as Rusal and companies coming from Russia and China receive heavy subsidies. The significance of this business environment is to identify what competitive advantages the unit of analysis possesses. The organizational complexity demonstrates the design or the current structure of the organization and how they operate. Whether or not it's a hierarchical or a flat or a hybrid organization, in addition to how decisions are actually made. And the geographic distribution for this was the supply chain and how it impacted the organization. Organizational assessment comprised of 3 categories: the knowledge exchange, how information is actually transferred, what type of information, and is that information complex. The coordination control is how tasks are delegated, in addition to the decision-making process. And the information systems discusses what IT systems are available for communication within the organization. The cultural assessment is about the management culture. One main finding were incentive systems. And at the end of the presentation, you'll find recommendations. However, significant to the cultural assessment is the understanding of the incentives and how they drive and reward both positive and adverse behavior. The recommendations at the organizational level is to continue to form subunits around the customers, because the fact that this company provides highly engineered, specific alloy products to both defense and aerospace industries, the need for tailoring, in addition to understanding the voice of the customer at real time, is necessary. By embedding a resource there at the customer site, this liaison would be able to collaborate and feed timely information to the manufacturing team if construction methods for the client changes. Strategic external, you need to continue focusing on the labor contracts for operational efficiency. Due to the fact that this organization is comprised of multiple unions, having a strong work contract or work rules, which would be conducive to flexible manufacturing, is highly recommended. Internal, a knowledge exchange. By having not just data readily available, but actionable intelligence for all of those decision makers, in addition to stakeholders. The transparency of the operation would render clarity and essentially remove any perception of the rumor mill coming to fruition. We recommend that the SharePoint site or a SharePoint is created in which free exchange of information is available, in addition to having performance metrics in the dashboard clearly understood by all personnel. This concludes my presentation. Have a wonderful day.